The catastrophe that was the Paris fire of 1916 was the third worst municipal fire in American history. It was surpassed only by the San Francisco and Chicago fires. As horrible as it was to the people of that time, gave us the treasure that is now our downtown Paris. We are very fortunate in the fact that we have the largest contiguous set of 1917 structures in any business district in the United States. Whereas most communities evolve, we rebuilt in less than 24 months. Over 10 years ago, there were a small nucleus of Paris citizens who began to notice that the efforts of our Main Street program that had begun in the middle 80s had begun to wane. Our infrastructure, so far as our public buildings, had started to deteriorate, and they realized that it was time to do something to save those structures. We had a very sympathetic council who was seated for our city at the time, and so just a very few citizens within a very short window of time were able to persuade the city council to enact not only the Historic Preservation Ordinance, but coupled with it our Buildings and Standards Ordinances as well. That was the beginning of the City of Paris Historic Preservation Commission, our founding as a CLG community, and the very first baby steps up to what we have today.
Well, it's very important for us and any other city that's serious about preservation, about having healthy downtowns, to take a leadership role. You can't just sit back and wait for it to happen. It's not going to happen on its own. Someone has to take a leadership role, and in most cases that's going to need to be the city. We try to do that through a number of grant programs that we offer locally. We do that through participation with the Main Street program. We work closely with the THC. Several structures here in Paris, mostly in downtown, that we're real proud of, that we've had a lot to do with. Specifically, to start with, this building that we're in right now. It was built at the turn of the century, so it's almost 100 years old, and it is now the City Hall. And this specific room that we're filming in today used to be the bay for the fire station. This was the central fire station, so fire trucks parked in this room, and today it's where we have our council meetings. Another really great facility, which is a little bit on the western edge of town, is the old railroad depot.
The Genealogical Society has a library, research library for genealogists, and it's located in the south end of the Santa Fe depot, which has been restored and is part of our city project. And we have a large research library there and staff that will help people with their genealogy or research efforts. We have the cemetery records, which are a database of every known death and burial in Lamar County, and that has won several awards at the database is online. Because I'm so interested in the cemeteries, that seems to be the project now. I'm the cemetery lady taking on that title. And I have worked with the Evergreen Cemetery here to get the Texas Historic Cemetery designation for that cemetery. I'm also working on a couple of others right now, because as you get publicity for one, it generates more interest in the others. And this helps preserve those cemeteries for the future.
Just imagine some of these monuments back in the 30s and the 20s and the late 1800s. Well, I came to Evergreen as a child. My parents moved here when I was 7 years old, and it's become my cemetery now. I have taken it over from my father, and I have tried to keep and promote the history of the cemetery. Cheri, this is D.H. Moore. He owned the White Elephant Saloon in downtown Paris, and he was like 27 years old, and he was killed in a gunfight. Evergreen Cemetery was chartered with the legislature in 1866, September the 26th. And to this date, we have approximately 40,000 people buried in Evergreen. Up here's the sheep. It's kind of signifies children. I have seen so many visitors in Evergreen, and I started to ask a few years back, what is your reason for coming to the cemetery? And the most answer that I get is history. And number two is the artwork and the construction in the old monuments that we have here at Evergreen.
The Sam Bell Maxey House State Historic Site was built in 1868 by Sam Bell Maxey. Sam Bell Maxey was a West Point graduate, Mexican-American War veteran, a general in the Civil War, as well as a two-term United States Senator. Along with all of those other things, he was also a lawyer by trade. He lived here with his family, his wife, and then his daughter, as well as later on his great-nephew, Sam Bell Maxey Long. Between the two generations of the Maxeys and the Longs, the house was actually lived in for almost 100 years. We have over 10,000 artifacts here on site, and of these 10,000 artifacts, almost all of them are original to either Sam Bell Maxey and his family or the second generation family, which is the Long family. We have this really great collection of letters. Our families, both generations, wrote lots of letters back and forth to each other. Our volunteers actually work really hard to transcribe these letters so that we can glean information from them about our family's daily lives.
Look at that. Oh.
That's an 1880 velocipede.
We have a really great core group of volunteers who come and give their time and help us out doing so many projects here at the site, whether it be with our collections, to our special events, to our education programs with the school groups. We wouldn't be able to get a lot of the things we do get done here without that great group of volunteers.
I'm Patsy Davis, and I'm a volunteer for the Lamar County Historical Society Museum, and I want to welcome you to our museum today. We like to tell people that it's the only museum in the world dedicated to the history of Lamar County.
The African American room, as we call it, Thelma Dangerfield and I set it up, but a lot of people in the community donated a lot of the stuff that's in there.
This picture was taken in 1947. This is my dad. He was owner and manager of the baseball team.
I talked with Thelma first, and then she and I talked to members of the parish branch of the NAACP, and they encouraged us to do it. The African American room is the room that we want the children and grown-ups too, but especially the children that come to the museum, we want them to see it because it tells history of the African American community in Paris and Lamar County. And this is the only place, as far as I know, that have that kind of history.
I really can't say enough about this local community that has donated their time, materials, and soul, I guess, to this trail because they realize the benefits about quality of life. One of the facts that I have found to be true is that the longer a trail is, the further people will come to ride on it or use it, the more time they will spend on the trail, and the more money they will spend in that area. We're developing this coalition on this 130-mile trail, a contiguously rail bank corridor, to actually provide a marketing network and websites that will promote their individual historical venues and also their community events from a recreational standpoint. The Trail to Paris is not a trail to nowhere, it's a trail to destinations.
We're actually in the Culberson Library, which was donated by J.J. Culberson, a cottonseed oil magnate, in 1931. Jerry Bywaters was one of those work progress administration artists, and he did 4 panels of Paris history somewhere in the 1930s. The first panel shows the fire. The fire destroyed like 1,400 structures, so the entire town was gone within 12 hours. The second panel is kind of in honor of the mayor, Henry P. Meyer, and it shows the rebuilding of Paris, the second panel. The third panel is John Chisholm, who was a cowman, and the fourth panel is about Davy Crockett. The 4 panels have been here since 1934, so when you walk in to the Paris Public Library, you can see the panels on your right. The Historical Commission sent out a letter a couple of years ago wanting everybody to re-inventory everything in the county. We expanded the project and established a research on every marker possible, not just the historical markers, but any monument, memorial, cornerstone. So we put together a large book, and then we did an abstract of it for a Kindle or a tablet, and it has the GPS locations, a little bit of summary of the marker, and the dates it was created. And you can now go to Amazon, for example, and put it on your tablet.
We're here in the Gibraltar Hotel. This was the finest hotel west of the Mississippi when it was built in 1915. It sustained damage during the Great Fire of 1916, and when they rebuilt it, they put a 7th floor on it. We're here right now standing actually in the Century Room, where Dorothy Lamar once sang. William Howard Taft stopped by here. Much history has come through these walls. My husband kept trying to save it. For 30 years he's tried to save this building, and the only thing that saved it really was the fact it's so structurally sound that it would have cost $300,000 25 years ago to tear it down. So we are interested really in, we've talked to hotel groups, and we're interested in creating a boutique hotel with some downtown office space and maybe some residential as well. And I think we're getting close. I've been at this for a long time, and I think the very best thing is now, some of us who were pulling the wagon for so long, you can turn and see 20-somethings following you with more passion than you would ever have dreamed. People are buying buildings downtown, people serve on committees, people go and fight for their causes, and these people are 28 and 32.
Nobody has anything else for the monthly, we'll go ahead and go over to the nightly. I moved here to actually open a business. It was an opportunity to open something in a smaller town that I would not have been able to do in the DFW area. So for me, it was a great job opportunity, a business opportunity, and I just really like the small town atmosphere of Paris. I think we all, as a society, are right now trying to find out a way to be more eco-friendly or a way to be more self-sufficient. And I think this downtown and small downtowns like it are a great blueprint for what that can be. And I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's something that's already there. These buildings are built with the windows in the right locations so that it doesn't overheat the building. Plus the fact you've got all your storefronts downstairs. You can have your living quarters up in the upper parts of the buildings. You can have your businesses downstairs. You can have it all encompassed in that one area. And I think that's what people are all looking for, is to be able to be self-sufficient and be able to be where they don't have to drive 15 miles from a suburb to get to your downtown area.
The heart of Paris is its downtown, and it has remained that way from the beginning. Through the partnerships, we are really seeing a lot of success in downtown Paris because of the preservation efforts that we've put forward, working together with the county and the restoration that they've been doing on their buildings, and the city has taken the lead in doing a lot of the restoration on the public spaces, and it just gives people confidence in what's happening in downtown.
The Grand Theater is a building that I think the simplest words to use is that it means a lot of things to a lot of people of a lot of different ages. It's a building that went through 2 or 3 reinventions, but everybody that was raised here has a memory about their time in the Grand Theater. It is a building that's going to require a lot of preservation work, so we're on an uphill battle to restore the theater. But I do think there's enough support. But we all agree that it is in the best interest that the city have ownership of it, because municipalities can solicit grants much more successfully than private individuals can.
About 7 years ago, we finished in 2005 renovating the Lamar County Courthouse, the Lamar County Annex, and Lamar County Services Building. And so we have made a commitment to put our money where our mouth is in terms of historic preservation to protect these beautiful old buildings. These type of projects absolutely require collaboration on a broad scale from the public, from the elected officials, with the city, with the Texas Historical Commission, and for us in particular, the Lamar County Historical Commission pushed very, very hard with the downtown merchants that Lamar County protect and preserve the Lamar County Courthouse Annex and County Services Building. It really sent a message that we in Lamar County are going to stay in the historic downtown area. A number of private business owners then invested substantially in their historic buildings. So we now have a number of buildings in the downtown district that have been improved because of the investment that Lamar County made.
With anything you do, especially in a small community, you have that influence when it comes to educating the public, saying, hey, this is what this building was originally, and here's the story behind it. Here's why we should preserve this building.